I bow to the divine within you. I still remember the day my teacher at a parent-teacher conference looked at my father and said, "Mr. Narasimhan, I think your daughter is average in the class." For a moment, it stung. I felt the word average hang in the air like a judgment. And as I glanced at my father's flushed face, I felt a sharp tinge. Ouch, that must have hit a nerve with him too. Is average bad? In a world obsessed with being at the top, was middle of the bell curve something to be ashamed of? What felt like a criticism soon turned into curiosity for me. I started to observe, really observe, the everyday people around me. Teachers, neighbors, friends, my grandmother. What I found surprised me. The so-called everyday people carried countless examples of greatness, resilience, creativity, kindness, quiet leadership, and unshakable integrity. And it made me wonder, what if average is not a limitation, but an invitation to lead with humanity? That curiosity stayed with me, and it's what eventually drew me to a technology that thrives on questions: artificial intelligence. I stumbled upon AI by chance. I picked an AI class taught by a psychology professor in my grad school. That's interesting. An AI taught by a psychology professor? Her class captured my fascination. How she interwove complex cognitive topics with technology. That sealed the deal, and my course was set. As I learned, AI sits at the intersection of so many fields: logic and language, math and philosophy, science and art. It was not just for the engineering mind, but a perfect field that lay at the intersection of so many things. Very messy, very human, and nothing artificial. I was hooked. 2 decades of a career in big tech, following the arc of many immigrants' dreams. I had been part of the internet revolution, building solutions, solving complex problems. And as a technologist, as we saw the explosion of cheaper computing, faster algorithms, and vast amounts of data, I was excited. The time for AI had come. But a question remained in my heart. How is this helping everyday people? And how are we building a better tomorrow? And it made me very curious. What if everyday people built it? Could we imagine a different world? When we take a step back and look at human history, what set us apart as a species is our ability to invent tools that allowed us to catapult ourselves to be the dominant species on the planet. There are several examples of transformative tools throughout history: fire, automobiles, electricity, that took decades to reach people. But for this talk, I'll focus on digital technologies that built upon each other. Take the internet. Born in the 1960s, it crossed 1 billion users in 36 years. Mobile phones, invented in the 1970s, took about 24 years to reach 1 billion subscriptions. Social platforms like Facebook, built on the connected infrastructure, just took about 8 years to reach 1 billion users. These adoption curves show us something important. While each builds on the reach of the other, real, sustainable progress takes time and people to adopt them. While invention of these breakthrough technologies is often by a small set of skilled folks, the impact is often decided when we choose to reduce the barriers and everyday people pick up these tools and adopt them. And now, generative AI. It took the world by storm around 2022. Here's the astonishing fact. AI tools like ChatGPT reached 100 million users in just 2 months, faster than any technology in human history. And as of now, ChatGPT is probably approaching 1 billion users, likely in 4 years. We have a tool that is unique. It's moving faster than anything we've ever seen. And none of us, not even the experts, can predict its path with certainty. It bends the definition of a tool in time that has shaped innovation. And this is just one example of an AI tool. In addition, unlike every tool before it, this one is different. It learns from us, adapts with us, and gets better at scale, which is why AI is in our zeitgeist and captured all our attention, inducing fear, worry, and sometimes unbridled optimism. But unlike electricity or internet, the barriers for building with this are significantly lower. You don't have to be a computer person or a scientist to be with it. A technology that learns like never before. From our language, our questions, our values, adapting at scale. Every prompt we craft, every agent we build, every tool we create, each one a brushstroke on the canvas shaping its evolution. Everyday people are just not users. We are co-authors of its future. Choices teaching these systems what we value. We have a rare chance to influence this technology while it's still being written. We built each innovation on the shoulders of the others. Nothing wrong. But shouldn't we also learn what did not work and build it better? We're still grappling with the effects of the internet, mobile, and social. Should we build this tool the same way? Or is there a better way? As Stanford professor Dr. Fei-Fei Li, often called the godmother of AI, reminds us, the power lies within people. She has long championed the idea that AI should be driven by human dignity and values, a vision I believe makes everyday people not just users, but co-authors of its future. And that power comes with responsibility. Every prompt, product, policy, we're teaching these systems what we value. The question isn't what AI can learn. It's what it would learn from us. In a world where headlines are screaming of gloom and doom, what if everyday people picked up this tool and built what worked for us? What if AI is not the boogeyman, but a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Can I change it? Can I touch it? Can I make it my own? And what would that world look like? How would everyday people want AI to work for them? Perhaps an overworked mom uses AI as an evening tutor so her child doesn't fall behind. A worker in transition learns a job-ready skill with a customized, personalized AI plan to pursue that dream role. Maybe we would help our elderly neighbors get medical instructions translated, simplified, in plain language, and maybe large print. A neurodivergent child has a safe, secure AI pet that would explain the world in a predictable, comforting pattern. What if we are not treated as content consumers or a row on a spreadsheet to be acquired, but as a revered being on this planet? Will we build differently? You see, I think somewhere in the process, we have lost the script of the grand play. Tools are meant to help humanity progress. To what? To find the best amongst ourselves, to reach our highest potential. But building for everyone requires more than technical advancement. It requires our collective wisdom. And I learned this lesson far away from any class, being an executive, or in boardrooms, but deep in the Amazon jungle. There, I met two tribes, the Alamas and the Murray-Bui. The Alamas, descendants of the Ecuadorian farmers, have sustained their lives through agriculture for generations. The Murray-Bui, rooted in Colombia, lived by a sacred bond with the rainforest, their fortress, their caretaker, their home. Their philosophy is simple: take only what you need and give back in harmony. And here I witnessed the queens of the jungle, women leading quietly, yet courageously, with very little material wealth, but immense reverence for the environment. Their leadership was not about individual advancement, but about ensuring the well-being of all. Anything that was offered to the tribe was carefully considered and shared in the best possible way. The queens of the jungle taught me deep lessons on leadership. The true progress is not measured by how far one person rises or who gets to the top, but how much we all rise together. What those women taught me is that thriving communities measure success not by one person's gain, but by shared prosperity. Isn't that the alignment of purpose and profit we seek? They practice something we urgently need in technology today: our collective wisdom. Like the rainforest, every part thrived when it served the whole. That's the fundamental mindset we need. After all, we are a billion species spinning in the middle of nowhere together. Where are we racing ahead anyway? What if, like the queens of the jungle, we use this tool not for dominance, but with humanity to build better days for each of us? That question became the heart of my own work today in how we harness and bring this wisdom back to everyday work. We don't have to choose between heart and hard numbers. These examples aren't just heart, they're measurable. Evening tutors raise homework completion and attendance. AI-powered career guidance could provide upward mobility and close critical workforce gaps. Predictable support for a neurodivergent child shortens meltdown minutes and boosts academic and social outcomes. Better transcripts for ER visits for the elderly reduces costs. The list goes on. It creates value you can price, sustain, and scale. Profit is the receipt that the solution works. We have to care enough to measure the risk and reward and build such everyday innovation. And when proof shows up like that, everyday people can pick it up and spark 1,000 wins. Profit isn't the opposite of purpose, it's how we sustain it. Each individual idea might not be the next billion-dollar business, but when you collide and compound, they spark something far greater. As a technologist, I can design with fear, or I can be led by purpose and curiosity. No one knows with certainty how these tools will evolve. But if we build them with collective wisdom grounded in human values, we can create outcomes that benefit all. Think about fire: ancient, transformative, dangerous. We didn't abandon it out of fear. We learned how to harness it safely, responsibly, and it sparked a civilization. We can do the same with AI. We won't get every choice right, but we can choose to be present, to build responsibly with empathy and correct our course together. Like the queens of the jungle, our strength lies not on racing to the top for individual gain, but for courage, responsibility, and community. Because the true potential of AI is not how fast it scales, but in the billion ideas flowing, guided by purpose, grounded in care for one another, and reverence for the planet. Just imagine a billion agents built by everyday people, for everyday people, not seeing you as a consumer, but as a revered being. When tools work for everyone, they become sustainable. That's when profit follows and true progress and prosperity accelerates. AI is not the hero, we are. How do you become the hero? Agency is yours. Let the divine within you guide you. Let our collective wisdom be your compass. Average is not a limit, my friends. It's the beginning, an invitation to follow your curiosity. Take the first step. Get familiar. Familiarity makes the unknown friendlier and makes us understand the risk. Perhaps you will be guided to build a small, helpful tool grounded in humanity. Maybe you'll be inspired to advocate demanding better safety security for a more trusted world. We cannot control everything around us, but we can choose our response, rooted in wisdom and values. So I dare to imagine a world sparked by a billion such small ideas, building on each other, igniting change, not shaped by the loudest voices, not defined by a few, not a billion ideas shouting over one another, but a billion ideas flowing like water. When we guide AI responsibly, with empathy and intention, it becomes our lightsaber, a tool that lifts everyone so together we can rise. May the force be with us. Thank you.